Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Idiots on the Airway podcast. Um, Today we're talking about things, and there's three of us. We have a guest, as apparently um, we've gotten our act together, so that's pretty cool. Um, I don't have the agenda, so Daniel, start us off.
All right. Well, this guest here is of the. Would you like to introduce yourself first, sir guest?
Yeah, so I'm Wesley Casey, uh, uh, student with Angelicum and Holy Apostles. So I met y'all, and I'm a writer. Been writing for a while. Haven't published anything, but enjoy writing and enjoy reading quite a lot. And looking forward to talking with y'all. This should be fun.
Cool, awesome. Yes, this should be very fun, considering that the topic for today is in regards to social media. In particular, what I've been wanting to talk about for a while actually is just YouTube Shorts, for the most part, because as a
Mm,
YouTuber, um, they bother me. Their existence is a
yeah,
an encroachment on my mental well-being, and because I'm just addicted to them as everybody else, unfortunately.
yeah.
Yeah, not sure what the opinions are. I mean, yeah, I don't know. YouTube Shorts are weird, right? Because most people's opinions on them are just that they, exist, and that's pretty much it. But me, it's like this is not good content, really. And there's like people out there that like do like the ironic "I hate shorts" thing by like messing with it, but still on a shorts format, so it still is just weird.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta say I was surprised when I first came across them. I was like, wait, like it felt really weird finding that format on YouTube. I was like, hang on, I'm not sure if I like this, and I think it's honestly I think they were almost kind of forced to it by the rise of TikTok. Right, that's TikTok's format, that bottomless scroll.
Yeah,
And so I think that with the success of TikTok, like there's a statistic I heard once. I'm not sure how credible it is, but I personally believe it. Makes perfect sense. Is that the average TikTok user spends 5 times as much like time on the app than the average YouTuber does because of the addictive format, right? And so I could understand that maybe being a bit of a blow to them as a social media platform and why they have to kind of do their own knockoff, just to keep their audience. So I can understand why it might have happened. But I think there's something pretty dangerous about that format, right? And this is part of what makes TikTok dangerous as well, is that is one of the most effective formats to leverage our dopamine systems, right? Like our natural reward system. It's going to release these hormones, make you feel good whenever you've got a sense of this is going to, like a sense of potential achievement or potential enjoyment, right? And so it's not necessarily about the sense of having something, but more about the sense of the the chance of having it, right? And that's also, you can look at that and you can say that's the same thing with gambling. There's the potential to gain something. There's there is a good that could be there that you can almost reach, right? And that's what makes things addictive. And with TikTok or YouTube Shorts, the bottomless scroll like that is really dangerous because it's almost like this is how it's working. This is how it's messing with your brain, right? It's like the search for the perfect video, if you will, right? You scroll and you find and you watch a video, and now there's potential though, because you know that you can scroll and you'll be presented with another video and it might be fun. So you do. You get dopamine. It wasn't necessarily a great video, so you scroll again. You know, and it's that's the basic way that format is addicting, and it's incredibly dangerous. And yeah, like, and it makes sense if you look at other things. Like I said, if you look at gambling and gambling addictions, it makes sense, and it's all kind of the same thing. So yeah, YouTube Shorts, I don't like it. There's been a couple days that I like made the mistake of clicking on one and got lost. You know, it's been a couple days, but I try to stay away from it if I ever see it because I know that that's just gonna be a waste of time.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. I don't know. I haven't talked with Miguel here too much about it. I don't know what your thoughts on it are on the whole vertical format videos and stuff, because it's become also so much more of a marketing tool because of the quickness of it all. It's become it's being leveraged more as a marketing tool now for a lot of companies, and like people who want to stay afloat nowadays have to adapt to this vertical format of advertising, I suppose, which is really annoying to me. But it's also kind of necessary.
Wait, why? What's wrong with the vertical format? What about the vertical format annoys you so much?
It's not horizontal. I just don't like.
All right, good point. Good point.
I don't like watching things vertically at all. It's always given me a headache for some reason. I don't know why. I just really like having everything horizontal. Like when I ask people to take pictures for me, I'm like, can you take it in a horizontal format? And
I
sometimes
agree. Vertical picture takers are the bane of my existence. I don't even dislike vertical. I just don't like vertical photos.
Yeah, no, I can't, because I can't do it. Because like when I make stuff and like edit them into like fun videos or something, like out of like montages of family trips, there's all these vertical photos, and I'm like, I can't use this. It's wrong. I can't flip it either, because then it's just all screwed up. So the fact that now there's more things being in the vertical format is just kind of like, you know. But yeah.
I mean, it's because the smartphones. Everybody's got a smartphone in their pocket, in their face all the time. You know, and you want to access everything through that, and it's just the most convenient way. Apparently, we're too lazy to flip the smartphone sideways now.
Dude, honestly, it's like, when will they update Minecraft Pocket Edition to become vertical mode?
Excuse you, Minecraft Pocket Edition does not exist anymore.
It doesn't?
Yeah, no, they changed it to something weird. I don't remember the name off the top of my head.
I've been out of the Minecraft news loop for like a year, so I had no idea.
If it makes you feel better, I don't think anyone who paid attention to Minecraft noticed either, because I don't think anyone's thought about that version of Minecraft in a while.
Oh. Mm-hmm. There were people I knew all the time who would play it, but they would always play it on like iPads or something, because even still it was like too small to play on their phones or something. And just wanted a bigger screen. And I'm sitting there like, it was advertised as something you could take like literally everywhere, and kids are just walking around with their iPads playing Minecraft Pocket Edition, and I'm like, this is a pretty big pocket you have there, son.
Yeah. Pocket Edition.
Yeah, seriously. No, it's weird because like all this, I don't know, man. Vertical content scares me because the other thing is that for some reason you have to make it short too. Like everything on vertical mode has to be short, despite the fact that you like blow 5 hours of your day just watching,
Scrolling through,
just
yeah.
scrolling and scrolling, like, and you have the convenience of not having to turn your hand a little bit, which you've made for yourselves. It's like you still have to make it
Yeah.
short because the attention span has dwindled to 30 seconds now, not even 60 anymore. So
Yeah. I was gonna say something about the attention span, but then you said they the thing about them being short little videos, but then you spend hours watching it. And you know what? I just realized I think that's kind of another piece of the trap. When you're presented with something short and easy, you think like, oh, I've got time, I'll watch it. Like I've got 30 seconds to spare right now. I'll watch it. Then there's another one. Will another 30 seconds hurt? No. And you just continue with that mindset, and you think you're not spending a lot of time because these are going by like this. And then you look up and it's midnight, and you're like, wait, what? It's like it's the same thing when yeah, it's like when you rob the cookie jar and you take one of the many, right? And then your sibling comes and they do the same thing. They take one of the many, and then everybody's taking one of the many cookies, right? Everybody's thinking like, I'm just taking one. It's not going to do anything. And then there's none left,
Thankfully, my family has discouraged snacking to the point where like there is no cookie jar because we don't ask for cookies.
I just don't have siblings.
I
That
mean,
pretty much
I applaud
eliminates
you. My point was, it's the same type of mentality.
Mm-hmm.
The mentality of just a little bit, it's not going to hurt, and then all of it goes down.
That's how it started, yeah. But now it's just so that now it's not even that anymore. You're just like, you're going to be there for a while, just watching stuff, like at least 20 minutes if you're like walking from somewhere to somewhere, and you're just like, I don't really care. And you just like absorb information in that way. Like you learn your fun facts of the day, half of which turn out to be like fake or something.
Lies, yeah.
People have the wrong idea about how black holes work or something. I don't know. I watched a short on a black hole once that had so much wrong data on what a black hole even does. I was like, how does this have the like to dislike ratio that it does? This hurts me. Have you ever fallen into that, Miguel, where you just kind of like just chill and watch like Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts for just an hour, and you're just like,
yes.
I could have been editing videos.
Thankfully, however, I always end up on the history side, which has so many bad takes that hurt me to the extent that inevitably I get fed up and just stop. So that's pretty much my escape, is seeing somebody with a bad history take and then being like, all right, that's enough for today.
Yeah. What's the worst take you found through those?
Oh, there's a lot. I think I have a few saved. I don't know. Usually they're not like completely awful. They're just like mildly bad, and I'm like, all right, I'm done with this. Oh, oh yes, no. This is this isn't even a history thing. This is just the most upset I've gotten at a YouTube short before. Is basically this guy was like making empires for like United States by like redrawing their borders, and he did it for Louisiana. But he didn't include the entirety of Louisiana in its empire, and that annoyed me so much. That's the angriest I've gotten. I don't know why that one was so upsetting. Like, just include the entirety of the state at least. What are you doing?
He didn't even try.
Yeah. It's like, I don't think you even know what state you're talking about.
This man was clearly not American.
Clearly not.
Jeez. Awkward silence. Woo!
Yeah.
Huh?
What kind of music do you listen to, Wes?
Um, pretty wide range, but I think my favorite band, like, of all time is Mumford and Sons. I don't know if you've heard any of their stuff. I just think they're so great. Every single song is a masterpiece.
I know I've heard of them. I just probably haven't. If I have heard a song from them, it's like yeah, I'd probably know it if I heard it, but I haven't. I wouldn't know that it was a Mumford and Sons song.
Oh, you've had to
Yeah.
heard a Mumford and Sons song. I know them, and
I
I'm
know
me.
I've had to. I just don't even.
Oh, well then here's the question. Daniel, as a musician, I feel like I've asked you this question before, but I'm gonna ignore that. As a musician, how do you feel when songs blow up because of like TikTok? I know everyone says TikTok, but realistically at this point
Ooh.
it's Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. They're all exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
So how do you feel
I-
about viral not internet songs, short
They
songs?
they do turn into internet songs though. That's the problem. Is that like you have like all these phenomenons where then like an entire subgenre of music gets super popular because of TikTok and YouTube and all that. Like my example for that is like the drift funk genre, where
Mhm.
it's like all that sigma male music with the super heavy bass
Uh,
electronic stuff. And it's the stuff you like slap in front of like old like 90s race car drifting, like illegal races on streets, like videos and stuff. And it's like that gets all like that got popular, I'm pretty sure, by that kind of content. So on the one hand there's that, and it introduces a new kind of music to a very broad spectrum, being the entire human race who has the app. So there's that, and then there's just songs that like become meme songs because somebody was just able to time it right and they got like lucky or something, and that kind of thing bothers me, especially when it comes to like metal or something, because I don't think it really deserves to be that popular in that regard. It's just, I don't know. When music blows up because of social media, it's a little annoying at first because it's like most of the time it's older music
Mhm.
that like it gets used for like memes and stuff, like some old classic rock song, like the I think it was Mississippi Queen that's used for a wide variety of memes that are like it's hilarious the way it's used. But it's like that song's been around for so long, and it's like I this has been around for ages. Like why? And then all of a sudden it's popular again because of the meme, and people comment in the section. You know, it's like, it's a meme song, her, and it's like, yeah. Except it never was, and like for like 50 years or something. So,
yeah. The other thing is whenever you get these songs, like just random songs that are oftentimes like decent songs, just a random song that somebody's put like that somebody's slowed down and put like reverb on,
yes.
you
Oh
know,
my
and
gosh,
you
the
just have a
song.
random clip of it, and it gets like, you know, and somebody's like, "Oh, it sounds cool," because it does. It sounds cool, but then everybody uses it, and now if I hear that song, it's just like kind of
Yeah.
been ruined, you know.
Mhm.
It's the same phenomenon that happened about 10 or not even 10 years ago, probably about 12 years ago at this point, with the yes, because I'm a YouTube kid and I know too much about music, especially on the internet. I know about this. About 12 years ago, a similar phenomenon occurred with the nightcore subgenre, where they would speed up all these popular songs. And so the voices would get pitched up, and everybody was like, "Oh, that's hilarious. It sounds like an anime character." So they just slap a random anime image on top of the video and just speed it up like, I don't know, 10, 12%. And they're like, "Boom, you have a Nightcore song." And that was a huge thing back in the day that still perpetuates itself today because it's like a staple of internet history. And I think the slowed plus reverb thing is going to be exactly the same thing. It's just manifested in a. It's the opposite. It's the opposite effect, but it has the exact same effect, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's on the one hand that's all right. On the other hand, it's it's annoying, but for the most part, it's
Yeah.
really funny actually.
It's just another one. It's just another one of the same situation, you know. And although I'll be real, there are like a couple songs that like I've gone and I've actually listened to like slowed and reverb the entire song through, and I've been like, dude, that sounds really good.
Yeah.
You know, there was there's that one song, like everybody's heard this one. It's that like M83 by Midnight City or whatever. You know, and you might not recognize the name, but if you went and listened to it, you'd be like, oh yeah, that one. You know, and I heard a slowed and reverb version of that one once, and I listened to it all the way through, and it was cool. It was a vibe, you know. So like you get the occasional golden egg,
Yeah.
but it is still just another thing that's gonna get old, gonna be like looked back on with a laugh, and then a new one's gonna pop up.
Yeah. I don't know what they'll think of next, because there's already been a ton of different like ways to modify music in a way that for more or less enunciates the enjoyment of it. But this is the one that's like really been tickling everyone's like funny bone for a while, and it's actually like huge now. So like I was listening to a couple Daft Punk songs on the slowed plus reverb versions, and I was like, oh my gosh, the perspective I have on this song now is completely different. And I listen to the original now, and it's like I like it's kind of hard to hear it the same way again, you know.
It almost enhances the experience in some cases.
In some cases, yeah, but it's very dependent, I think, on how the mood of the song is. Because like I listened
Yeah.
to what was it? One of the Daft Punk songs I listened to from there was Make Love from the Human After All album and Veritas Quo from the Discovery album. Those two worked really well with the slowed plus reverb because for the most part they're already very chill, more atmospheric type of house beats. And then you have other stuff like the um, more popular songs that you know of, you know, like Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger, and One More Time, and
Yeah.
basically the rest of the Discovery album. And those worked all right, but I don't think they worked as well.
Not the
Um,
same.
they're not. It doesn't have the same. It doesn't enunciate it as much because it's just the way that the song is composed. I think both like actual musically wise, and then the actual like layering of the sounds and all the mix of it and stuff. It just doesn't work as well as some of the other like more atmospheric types do. So it just works better for some songs, and
Yeah.
that's the funny thing because the same thing happened with the Nightcore thing 12 years ago. It's like people tried it with every song, and there were some songs that just did not work at all, like at all. So I, you know, that's a natural thing, I suppose, but you know.
So then,
Yeah.
with that stuff, the question comes: how do you feel about the ever-present, just stolen content of shorts, TikToks, and reels? Like, do you think this is an existential crisis of internet, or is it just kind of a
Yeah.
resounding
It's
eh?
How do you mean about the stolen content? Like what specifically?
the way everything's just like
Stolen.
just like reposted random clips from
Yeah.
this or that, you know, just songs that you've slapped your own effects onto, etc. I don't know. I think in some ways you could call it an epidemic because like, well, that's another thing you've added to the list, right? Along with our dopamine systems, which should be encouraging us to do actual productive things. You know, those have been hijacked. You know, now our attention spans also hijacked. That's going down. Now our creativity levels. that's on the sinking ship too, you know, and so it's kind of just another thing on there. But I I don't think it's necessarily the hugest of issues, right? Like you could take like a super defensive stance of it and say like, no, it's no worse than like quoting a good book. You know, like if it's something you like and you wanted to share, then go ahead and share it. There's nothing horrible about that, you know. Um, but I do think, like, if I were ever to use um, a social media platform and post content, it would be to promote a business. Like, I couldn't see myself using it for really anything else. You know, I'm pretty interested in leatherworking, and I've got also a little bit of experience with woodworking, right? And I've wanted for a while to open like a woodworking business, and I'd I'd definitely use social media for that, you know, and I think that that's better. I think it's better to do your own thing on social media to present something of your own. So I definitely think that's better, but I don't think there's harm in sharing something you think is cool. Just don't get like carried away and be annoying, you know,
Yeah.
like so many people are.
I would think it would have been more of a problem if another problem that I think is a greater issue wouldn't have come up already, and that's the AI voices that have gotten really good.
Wait, why is that an issue? Explain to me why that's an issue. Sorry, I hear this a lot, and I still
I
don't
think those
understand.
are funny. I
They
think
are
those are
funny.
funny.
No, they're really funny, and I get a kick out of them a lot. I do think they're the problem is that I do think there's credit to the argument of that, like, eventually it will get good to the point where you won't be able to tell if that was something they actually said, because especially with how there's AI machines now that um reanimate more or less the mouth of the person to actually say the thing that the AI is like what they are programmed to say, right? So there is that,
Yeah.
and so it's getting better, and it's going to look like really bad in a couple years. But I don't know. I still find them funny, so it's not
Yeah,
too bad. I suppose it's just that's a bigger issue, I think, than reposted memes. I don't know.
Okay, so see, here's the thing about
yeah.
the AI voices. Yes, they are going to get to a point like that where you're not going to know if anybody, you know, really did say that. But the thing is that that's just going back to an old phenomenon where you could just claim somebody said something, and there'd be no real evidence. Now we're just going back to that.
It's just gonna yeah.
It's not a new
That's what
problem.
videos. That's
It's
what
just
videos and
reverting to
audio.
an old problem.
That's what videos and audio were supposed to be, though. Where's the evidence that they actually did or didn't say something? And now you're basically
That's gone.
perverting that correct use of it and like invalidating the one thing that we were supposed to use as that evidence. So
Yeah.
what are we going to use now? You
Nothing
know,
like we did back then. We're just gonna have to try and figure it out.
you know what?
Yeah.
Just for the sake of entertainment, I would totally be fine with that.
Yeah, I think that'd be
Yeah.
hilarious. I mean, there's
I
already
like a reversion, you know, back to um just older lifestyle. You know, if you know, you could say we're almost overly reliant on technology right now. And if we become over capable in it, right? Like if AI becomes an issue, and that is the way that I think it's going to become an issue. Actually, I do not think AI is going to take over the world. I think it's a long way from that. But but those things where you know there's like the voice copy AIs, there's like what you said, the video edit AIs, there's like face swap AIs, you know, and if that all kind of culminated into a final product, it could screw up a lot of just internet interaction, right? And
It would be
so
funny though.
if it would probably be pretty funny, but it would make the internet unreliable, essentially, is what I'm saying, and it would almost force you to get out of your house and go talk to somebody if you want a legitimate answer to anything, you know? Not maybe not on the scale of like asking your buddy a question over a text message or a phone call, you know, like, but for the sake of political stuff, I feel like a lot of it would have to revert back to more in-person things, and I don't necessarily feel like that's bad. I actually, on the contrary, I think that would be a good thing if it comes back to being in person. And yeah, there's a danger of being somewhere physically if you're a politician, but just as much as there's a danger of any of your accounts being hacked or misinformation being spread, you know, with AI or whatever. So, if there was some sort of issue that caused like politics to revert back to being, you know, in real life, face to face, like, I think that'd be, I think that would be a good thing. And the crickets just chirping.
Yeah. Sorry, I have nothing because the trash truck is driving by and
Well,
I'm just listening to the trash truck.
tell it to stop.
No, he's collecting my trash. He's a good trash.
That's a
I like it.
luxury you don't need. Tough it out. You'll be fine.
I like listening to the trash truck. Did you guys ever like that where like the trash truck would come by the house and you'd just be like, "Oh, the trash truck is coming," and you just poke outside the window and watch it?
No, you
Yeah,
think I was
I
awake
would
that
just
early?
like,
Or early. Well, depending on where you live, I guess they come earlier than and my. It's always been all over the place for me in my childhood, but it would be no earlier than like 9. So I'd already have eaten breakfast. So, you know.
Exactly. You think I'm up that early?
I normally am, but the last like week or so, I've been sleeping in quite a lot every day.
Yeah, me too. I'm dead, dude. I'm done. I'm tired. I don't know why. But yeah, trash truck is gone.
Alright, bye bye, trash cut. Yeah, yep, that one.
Yes.
Yep, I can speak.
Nice enunciation there.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. Well, I guess like, do either of y'all have like a roadmap to where we're moving on to with the conversation from here, or not?
No.
Great question. All right, cool. Yes.
Eventually
Words.
find stuff to talk about. That's typically how it goes. If nothing else, I just come up with whatever random crap I collected over the last couple weeks because he doesn't collect anything. I do. So, what do I have to show? Oh, I haven't shown this to anybody yet, actually.
All right.
Because I've been having trouble making this video. I went to NAMM, which is basically the biggest music convention in
You
the
went to
world.
Nam? Oh, I'm
NAMM.
sorry. Oh.
It's in Anaheim. It's so I collected a bunch of stuff from all these people that are like really cool that just gave me stuff to promote their stuff, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Wait,
stuff.
what do you mean?
Yeah, I
You
get
know
it.
what you mean? You mean
He
promoting
means
things?
Yes,
no stuff, not things.
Oh,
Stuff.
right, of
stuff.
course. Sorry.
There's a difference. So I think the best part about it was that I collected a ton of business cards, which was really funny. I'll show you one I collected is from this dude named Justice Hajaz. I don't know how to say that name, but he's a musician content creator. So content creators have business cards now. I learned that. Um, there was also this company that gave me two business cards, this Spooky Circuits, for instruments and just electronics and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And their business card is an actual piece of a circuit board that you can use to actually make something out of.
That okay.
Um,
Honestly, that's epic.
That's
yeah,
interesting. Yeah.
it's really cool. It's got spooky circuits all over it, this, that, and the other thing. And the Rev amplification had this thing where they would walk around and like they just gave people hats out of this huge wall of amplifiers where like instead of amplifiers, all the cabinets were just full of hats. And so they just started giving random people hats on day one, and everyone at the convention was wearing a Rev hat. And it became this huge meme with a bunch of other people that I was walking around with. And like by day 3, I was talking with somebody and he saw me wearing the Rev hat and he's like, I need a Rev hat because my crew has been wondering what the heck Rev is. I actually have it still. I wore it for the last episode. They gave us these and like they ran out of them like day 2. So they just passed them out and everything. And they said if they saw you, if like they had like 300 people walking around the entire floor, and if they caught you wearing the hat, they would give you this, and you can go back to the Rev booth and collect something. Could be a backpack, a shirt, a pedal, or whatever. And I collected a shirt because I wasn't cool enough to get a pedal, which sucks because I want free gear.
Harsh.
But I collected this Gear and Beer Roadshow shirt because it just looks really cool, I guess. And yeah, a couple other things. The weird gimmick though was these guitar picks that look like jigsaw puzzle pieces. I don't know if you can see it that well. Probably not.
It's interesting.
It's weird. Like, look at how this is shaped.
Oh, that's strange.
Oh yeah, what?
That's very strange.
There's
That's
like
cool.
3 different ways
Okay,
you can hold it.
on the topic of guitar picks, we were at some type of farmers market fair type of deal the other day, and there was a vendor selling stone guitar picks, right? And these things look so cool. You know, you go into like these shops where they're selling rocks, and you have like the slices of like gemstones or whatever, and it like, you know, all this stuff just looks so awesome. These people were making guitar picks out of different stones and stuff. It looked really cool. There was like a rose quartz one that looked really neat. There was like I'm not sure what it's called, but a stone that's almost looks like granite, the way it's like speckled, but it's basically black. There's one of those. Looks real cool. Yeah, it was very neat.
Yeah, I've heard of those before. People use them because they build them to like be really thick and stuff, and for some reason that's just really cool for some people. It helps for some types of guitar playing, I guess, but I can't go any thicker than this because any thicker and it like this size, it'll probably break my strings because I have a very heavy picking hand. So it's never been very practical for me, but I have seen those before. I have used them before. It's a strange experience and it can be expensive, but people just like picks made out of rocks. So that's a thing.
No, they look real cool though. You know, I would get one just for that. And I don't even play guitar.
Nice. Yeah. There's a lot of very interesting, like, subtle things that guitar players have to, like, just they just have. Like, this thing right here, is some kind of string dampener that I haven't even opened yet, but you don't put it on the strings. It's supposed to like help with some when you're playing with like really high gain and you're playing a lot of fast riffs. Sometimes the strings behind the strings, the part of the string right next to the tuner tends to like buzz in a really annoying way. So you just clap this around that part of the string, and it just solves the problem. It's some kind of string dampener thing, and it works pretty well. It's just all these really weird things that we guitar players have, and all this stuff that we like require in our guitars that are so different from one another, and we all hate each other because we play different guitars. Because I play the guitar with the most annoying tremolo system, and nobody knows how to set it up except me. So I get a lot of hate because I'm the guy who plays the guitar out of tune or something. So
shake my head.
Yeah, I collected a lot of fun stuff at NAMM. That's pretty much all I'm allowed to show at the moment. So
Were the rest like bribes or something? What does that mean?
there's just it's a lot of adverts, really. A lot of piece of paper for like advertisements for stuff that I may or may not get. One of them I definitely will have to get at some point, though. But I'm not revealing that until the video comes out. So
Interesting.
yeah. Yes.
Well.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Good
cool.
talk.
Good talk, everybody.
Yes. Sorry. We don't tend to have an agenda for these things because the last time we tried that, it didn't go so well. So.
When was the last time we tried that? That was last
don't
episode.
know.
It went fine. What do you mean?
No, we had an agenda for last episode.
Yeah.
I was talking about the last time we didn't have an agenda.
Oh.
Okay.
No, wait.
What?
That doesn't make sense either.
It sounded like you said.
What are you
It
on
sounded.
about?
It sounded like you said that having agendas doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't. And then it does. So,
What?
I don't know, man.
Alright.
I didn't sleep well last night. Maybe that's it. I have no idea.
Interesting.
Whatever. Aside from the dumb fact that I have a PlayStation 4 now, I don't think there's very much I can share about my personal life. I haven't collected too much lately.
What's your favorite game on the PS4?
I don't have very many yet.
That's not the question I asked.
But the two games that I have been playing is one that's downloaded to the system itself and one that's a disc. I have Battlefront 2.
Yes,
fun.
good game.
That's fun.
That's a good one. I also have Call of Duty Modern Warfare. There's that one. And then I have this Ghost Recon game that's pretty fun and also has no consequences for the actions I take at all.
Yeah.
And I mean that in the sense
Freedom.
that I got in a helicopter with a gun attached to it, and I flew up and started just blowing up an entire enemy base, and no one cared at all, and I accidentally killed a couple civilians. And the game just doesn't punish me at all for it.
Yeah, just like
And
IRL.
I mean, what? So, yeah, that was... it's an
You're speaking from
experience.
experience, Miguel.
I'd rather not say.
For legal reasons.
Yeah, for legal reasons.
That's a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's fun because now that I have the PlayStation, I can bring out my family's old TV, and oftentimes I just work on stuff while I play music off of YouTube in the background here, just off of the TV speakers, and it's pretty fun. And with my little mini fridge full of nothing at the moment, but I'll fill it up with something at some point, it's pretty nice. I have a very nice little garage studio space. People keep thinking I spend my days in a bunker, and they're not completely wrong.
Yeah, no, it's a garage. Completely different than a bunker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a separate building from the house for one thing, so it helps. But yeah, it's cold.
So then, if you
Yeah.
don't like shorts, Daniel, does that mean you're gonna refuse to ever adapt into doing shorts?
Oh no, I have to. I have to do shorts at some point. I
Haven't
already have
you?
been trying.
You've already done one, yeah?
I've done a
I've
bunch.
seen one here on the channel about your like just goals for expanding the podcast. There was one short on it.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. There was one on that. Yeah, but that's like the only one on the podcast channel. But I uploaded that to the main one too. I think. I don't remember. I don't remember where I upload anything. I try to do long form content for the most part, or just bits and pieces of whatever on the music channel that relates to music. But I've been experimenting more in shorts, and let me tell you, it is an experience. Like, so I uploaded a short the other day. It was almost dinner time, and I had just written this riff, and um, I really wanted to record it. So I recorded it, and it did 1,300 views in total, which is pretty good. If you look at the stat page, though, it got about 1,000 views in 2 hours, and about 950 of those were in the first 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
yeah.
that's kind of part of the hidden power of this new vertical format scroll type of stuff. You know, people are so addicted to it that it is the best way to
I know.
grow, to expand your audience, to advertise a product. You know, that's why drop shipping is gaining so much popularity. You know, all you gotta do is to make some sort of relatively interesting video, right? That even just briefly shows or features your product, and you're gonna get people watching it, you're gonna get people clicking on it.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a very powerful thing.
It's funny too because you think the dopamine hit for people who watch it is something for actual creators. It's stupid because there's a short that I
Yeah.
did. There's a short that I uploaded from a Guitar Center a visit while I was out visiting this guy up in Washington or something.
Mm-hmm.
And let me just say the view count for that has never decreased. Like I'll show you right now. It's probably my most popular short at the moment. I sent two pictures. The first one is of the short I mentioned before, and then this one is the Guitar Center video. Like it just goes up because it's short enough and it gets to the point and it's just that one riff and it's like it works pretty well. And so it's like I have to figure out how to replicate that again, and it's like it's hard too because on the one hand the dopamine hit is really good to just see the views go up and like, oh, you gained 2 subscribers from this one short, like good for you. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And then it's like, yeah, but then those 2 subscribers leave within a week because you didn't make another short in like the first 2
Yeah.
days afterwards, and it's like, yay, this is so inconsistent, and it's so hard because I tried editing a bunch of shorts together on the gaming channel, and the ones that I didn't want to blow up blew up, and the ones that I worked really hard to edit did nothing. I was so mad. It's so inconsistent. I don't know how. I still have no idea how to do it properly, but it's a heck of a learning
I
process.
mean, yeah, I'm not a content creator in any way. I mean, I am writing, but that's really pretty personal. It's all just on my computer. The only thing I share it with is like my writing club where we critique each other's work, right? And so I'm not like familiar with any of this, but like just pumping out like rough drafts, if you will, you know, and just chucking them on, uploading them, see how they do. If if the inconsistency is bothering you, you know, like, or like if you're putting in hard work on your part and results aren't and results aren't consistent, then just put in work, period. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be hard work or good work, but just put in work consistently enough, and hopefully results become consistent enough. I mean, I don't know. That's just my 2 cents.
Yeah. Yeah, it tends. It's a here and there thing. It works sometimes. It doesn't work at all. I'm still working on how to figure it out because I want to get bigger, and it's my work dynamic is very different from Miguel, who makes completely different kinds of content, and his shorts have been like snippets of life and recreated memes from an old chat group we were in, and um, those were pretty funny. There was also that one you did where you somehow broke the entire electrical configuration of your house. And
No, that's just the way the
that
house is wired. That's not broken. That's a design.
You said you tripped the breaker out or something.
Well, yeah, I did. But that didn't cause the issue.
Oh, you made it seem like it caused it. What caused the issue? Just the way it was
The
wired?
fact that my house is wired horribly and none of the light switch make any sense. That's the issue.
Bruh.
We had a house overseas in the United Arab Emirates that was like the first of 6 made on a block, right? So it was the problem child. It was the one that it was the one that had all the design flaws, you know? And so then they build this one, right? And then they're like, okay, this, and this didn't work, so let's get it right on the other houses, you know? So the other 5 houses are fine, but the one we moved into had all these issues with the plumbing and the electrical system. It was the same thing. Breaker always going off.
Did they just never bother to fix it when they figured out what was wrong?
Oh,
and did it with the other houses?
Why would they fix
they
it?
they just left it, dude. I mean, it's kind of there's a saying over there, right? It's inshallah, right? It means like God willing. And dude, when I tell you when I tell you that's their mindset, I mean that is their mindset. That is the entire country's mindset. You know, like, dude, we have this problem. Inshallah.
It's
You know,
fine.
God willing. Like whatever. You know. So they make an issue. They have an issue with the house. They built, and I mean they got it right on the rest. I mean that's a job well done for them. But it was really interesting experience for us living there.
Oh my gosh. I like how an entire country could just write something off as like, it'll be fine. God'll take care of it. Whatever.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Oh, it's funny though, because you heard that so much over there. You heard that so much. Like, it was from, you know, people at my dad's job at his, you know, when he goes to work. You know, like his bosses and his superiors are throwing that one around. Just inshallah, you know, our groundskeeper, our landlord.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really funny.
That is not the mentality I have. Anybody has over here. If there's a problem, they typically just don't bother with it because they don't want to get in trouble or something. I don't know. Nobody seems to want to fix any problems over here. It's just a mess. I just always was bothered by how. Sorry, going back to the shorts, because I find this very intriguing, is that when I visit Adventure Karma's channel, the most popular video still is the shadow reveal short from like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That has over like 9,000 views, but it hasn't grown at all since. So that was
No, it got all its views in like the first 2 seconds it was uploaded, and then it just like it just stopped.
It's so weird how stuff does that. Like, it just doesn't stick around because there's so much other stuff to pump out, I guess.
No, I actually know why that one is, because that one got carried over to a short basically the instant shorts existed. It wasn't originally posted as a short. It got carried over whenever shorts was implemented. So I'm fairly sure for a while that was one of like maybe 500 shorts in the world.
Oh,
So I'm fairly sure that's the reason why, because it really was like one of the first, and then it just got obliterated because
That's
people
real
actually
cool,
started
actually,
posting
that you
shorts.
managed to get up there.
Yeah,
Like, the fact that you managed to get in there at the very beginning is really cool, you know?
yeah,
Like, just
Purely by accident too.
you just got bragging rights on that the rest of your life, you
yeah,
know?
basically.
I was on the first 50 shorts because it was a carryover.
Yeah.
It was a legacy video.
That I'm fairly sure wasn't even supposed to do that. Like, I don't think that was intentional. I don't know why it happened.
That's pretty funny. That's pretty good. Yeah, because like all the comments in it are still all the comments from 2 years ago. Like, there's never been a new comment.
Yeah, no, there's no growth on that video.
It's pretty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of comments, though, Daniel, you said earlier about the dopamine hit for the viewers being like whatever, but the dopamine hit for the content makers themselves, you know, getting views or whatever, getting comments, I feel like is another big thing.
Yeah.
I feel like getting comments, like from my very little experience, right? This is like posts I've made on the school blog, and then whenever I see somebody comment on it, it's so gratifying.
Yeah.
It's like,
No,
oh my
you-
gosh, a human being took time out of their day to write like 10
Exactly,
words
yeah.
in 30 seconds of their life to me, an insignificant nobody that they've never seen or met before. It's like, oh, it's like, it's so
I
great. And then I
know.
get to respond to them. And
It's
it's like,
overwhelming.
oh,
Mm-hmm.
it's great.
Um,
Yeah.
No, but I think comments is the main. That's like one that I've actually had like personal experience with, though. You know, like I got a comment on a thing once, and like the rest of the day, I was kind of coming back at like a couple like 2-hour intervals, just like checking, seeing if there's another one. You know.
Yeah.
I think that is.
Yeah, I go back
That-
to all my
that's-
YouTube
yeah.
accounts like every half hour just to check to see if there was a comment that I didn't get notified about. Like what I'm totally not doing right now because I have no. Okay,
Oh, that's a question. Daniel, do you have filtered comments on your videos?
which channel?
Any of them, any and all.
No, I don't.
Interesting.
Why did you comment something that?
No, I'm just curious.
No, I don't. I don't like filtering the comments because there have been a bunch of negative comments on my more popular videos, and then I just let other commenters tear them down, and for like being stupid or something. I just find it really amusing to just kick back and watch.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't filter any of the comments. I just let all of them go.
Well, no, I'm
because-
not asking if you censor people in the comments. I'm asking if you use YouTube's filter system.
No.
Okay.
Again, it's
What
more
is that
entertaining.
necess-
It's more entertaining to not.
Yeah.
Basically,
What-
as a
what is-
creator, you can click a box and it will hold comments for reviews that it deems like, hey, you might want to look at this. That's all it is.
Okay. So like it pulls aside like noteworthy ones.
Yeah,
Like
if there's
okay.
anything that its bot marks as like, hey, you might want to not have this, it just kind of marks it and says,
Okay.
yo,
Okay.
look at this. The only problem is it doesn't notify you whenever it does do that, which is annoying.
Oh, that's an issue.
Yeah.
You have to check, like you have to check to make sure it did that or it didn't do that. The other problem is that I did try it at one point back when I had started my channel,
Mhm.
and for some reason it would hold every comment that there was a time where I think one or two of your comments on my videos got held for review,
Based.
but on that same video, 3 bots slid through, like 3 bot accounts, and they were not like held for review at all because of course the YouTube bot system is so bad. I'm sure that YouTube has an office specifically for bot farming because they just seem like the people that would have that because they don't bother to fix their stupid problems. And and so because of that, I just never hold any comment for review because I'll just delete the bots myself, or they tend to delete themselves sometimes. But I delete them myself, and because I don't want other people's comments that are actual people getting held for review for no reason at all. Because I know your comments have never had a reason to be held for review. Like you've never had profanity in them, so
I'm a
it's
very
like
controversial guy, so I don't know, man.
you type like a bot. Maybe that's why. I don't know.
Okay, honestly, yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. Do you do that checkbox thing?
I do it. I don't check it as regularly as I should, which is the main issue. But I don't know. I like getting. I like being able to see if like there's something that YouTube is like, hey, this is a little weird. Check this out. But I don't like. I always let them through. I've never actually like deleted a comment or anything. It's just kind of there in case something happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Wes, have you ever been to a concert before?
No, I haven't actually. Not. No.
Lucky.
Who would you like to go see in concert?
Lucky. I mean, I'd want to go see Mumford and Sons, but they're not still a band anymore. They broke apart a couple years ago now, I think. I don't know though. I don't know who I'd want to see. I mean, I remember. I think like last summer we were here visiting our grandparents, and my dad's cousin and his wife came through to visit, and they were going to see. They had like tickets to like 3 concerts coming up soon, you know, and they were just like coming through, and they had already been to like 3 others, and no, I just remember, I think Swedish House Mafia was among those, and I was like, oh, that's neat. They got a couple neat songs. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I feel like an EDM concert would be interesting, you know, and probably fun. And my cousin has gone to quite a few, you know, and it looks like he has fun. But I'd personally much rather go see like an actual band than because I feel like it's just a different experience, right? But I don't know. It depends on the band. Depends if I ever get the opportunity, which like I'm not actively looking for that opportunity, so I don't know what the chances are that I ever find it.
Oh, I see. Yeah. As one who has apprenticed with a DJ and has been to a metal concert, I can tell you those two things are very, very different experiences. Because on the one hand, you have people who are like just dancing and stuff, and they're just all very centered amongst themselves. And then at the metal concert, everyone's beating up each other, and yet we're all still focused on the people on stage. And so it's a very, very interesting experience and interesting to compare because, especially considering my metal concert experience was so bombastic, I don't think my hearing has ever recovered. I think that's actually the reason why I'm fairly certain my hearing is broken. Like I don't have, I think I've lost like 10% of my hearing now just from that show because I didn't go with earplugs for any
Bruh.
part of the show. I didn't plug my ears for any of it. I didn't bring earplugs at all. And so, you know, I think I talk a little louder than most people normally do because of that. So a little messed up.
I mean, you shouldn't have to bring earplugs to a concert. You know, the whole point is I'm going there to hear music, not to block it out. That's kind of
Well,
backward.
you'd be surprised how loud it needs to be for everyone to hear it, and then how most people their hearing just like cannot process so much, so it just sounds like a massive static
Yeah.
wall. And so that's kind of what it sounded like for me for most of it. It was just this enormous like because I couldn't hear any other frequencies other than the drums. So oh well. What is your experience with video games? Because as we all know, this podcast is simply just an excuse to talk about music and video games because that's all we talk about here.
Um, not too much, you know. I think like 6 years ago we got a PlayStation, and that was the first time I'd ever like played video games other than my grandparents have a Wii, that we would play. They still have it. We still play some on it. It's it's really fun.
Every kid's
um,
console, man. That
well,
was the
it's
best.
busted though, and it doesn't take discs anymore. It's
Oh
actually
yeah,
really
that's what happened
sad.
to our Wii.
So there's only the couple games that were like downloaded on it or whatever, however that works. I don't,
Yeah.
and you can't get more because the Wii shop is like outdated and doesn't work.
Yeah.
So it's kind of stuck. It's a bit of a time capsule. It's cool. So there was that. Um, but then like about 6 years ago, I think, and I'm like 17 for reference, was we got like a PlayStation, uh, and I mean very minimal amount of video games. Minecraft, I eventually got like I wanted Star Wars Battlefront. I got that. That's basically it. There's a couple other odd ones. There's this ridiculous game called the Untitled Goose Game.
Ah, Untitled Goose Game.
Yeah, and you just walk around. You're a goose, and your job is to cause mayhem for all these poor villagers just trying to be villagers in a village.
I love that
Uh,
game.
it's fun. It's fun, and no,
That's
but
the
other than
best
that,
game.
mostly just Minecraft, Halo, I guess sometimes, Star Wars Battlefront. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah, that's what happened with our Wii too. Although disc reader was shot and we couldn't get anything on the
Uh,
virtual console. Which is funny because we downloaded like Netflix and Hulu, so we just used that for our TV stuff until we got so we got like a Roku or something. So we
That's
still
funny.
used the Wii for a long time after it broke, which sucks because Dad and I were in the middle of a story mode of some game. But yeah, no, I have
Uh,
been playing on a PlayStation technically for a very long time, but it was never mine. I always played on my uncle's
mhm.
PlayStation like 3 and 4 whenever I went over to visit, and so he would show me all the games. And now I have a PlayStation 4 of my own, so this is great. I really want a Wii again though, because people repair the disc drives in those things now and resell them and stuff. Because
Dude, if
apparently,
we could get this one fixed, that would be so cool. Because we
yeah,
still got all the discs that we used to
nice.
have. They're just like, oh, sitting on some shelf somewhere. So if that disc drive could get fixed, that'd be cool. There's like the Wii Sports Resort or whatever. You know,
Yes, yes,
like I would love to go back to that one. That would be so much fun.
yeah. There's a lot of good times with that console for me. And then everybody had the Wii U at one point, and that was a thing that like I always wanted but never quite got. And it's like, in my opinion, it's an amazing console. I don't know why people don't like it. It was
Yeah, it
literally the
was
Switch
good.
of 10 years ago, except it was better. I don't
No,
even care
dude,
what people
there's
say.
like memes and stuff that talk about the Wii controllers, right? Like cost $10, last 20 years, and
Exactly.
then the Switch controllers cost $50, last 20 minutes. It's like
Yeah.
literally
Yeah.
it's so bad. But
Like I
Wii's
would
were
play
like they were
sometimes like with the
sturdy
Wii
though.
remote without I would play the Wii sometimes without the strap on the wrist. And so it always felt
It
dangerous to
gets
play
like
because
chucked.
if
Yeah.
I swiped that bowling ball the wrong way on Wii Sports and I threw that controller, it was going to hit my little sister in the head, and it did a few times, and it still lasted. The thing was built like
Yeah.
a tank. It's like amazing.
Yeah. No, it's
So many good
it's
times, man.
funny. Um, yeah, that's really all I got on video games though. Um, Unless you want to go like into my philosophy on that.
Sure, why not?
I, okay. um, I guess like where I take issue with it is like um it's video games are like they give you the sense of progression, right? Sense of there's achievement boards. There's always a sense of progression. You know, you feel like you're building something up. There, you know, you're fighting enemies. You're having fun with your friends. You're doing all this. You're doing all these activities, right? But you're not actually active. You're sitting down, you know. And so it's like there was somebody who put this really well. Um, you know, it's the way that like junk food is taste kind of torn away from nutrition, right? In the same way video games are like a sense of, I'm struggling to find the right word here, but like they give you the sense of fulfillment and progression and achievement, but torn away from the necessary reality of it, which is exertion, you know, and some strain and some physical stress. And while it can be seen as a good thing for young men, I guess, especially because they can, I mean, it's a good way to get out like masculine energy or any aggression, you know, that argument can be made. But actually, ideally, the proper way would be to go to boxing classes, you know, because that should be something associated with exertion and with some physicality. And yeah, that's where I take issue with it, is just the fact that you can sit down and you can get, again, all that dopamine from feeling like you're achieving things, you know, and you are in the video game, you know, and I feel like Minecraft is a prime example of this because you can get, like, you can get real obsessed with some Minecraft worlds, you know, and you can, like, build stuff up and you can be so proud of it, but then there remains the fact that it is literally just some lines of code in a video game somewhere, and then it could disappear like that, and that you've actually got nothing done in the real world. But you got all that sense of achievement, you know, and
Well,
again, that
there's
sense of achievement is addicting. You know, that's what dopamine is. It's a sense of achievement. And so it's addicting. It causes addiction. It's meant to be addicting you to life and addicting you to good things and addicting you to well, achievement, you know. But the fact that we've found so many back doors to it now is an issue.
It's an interesting point because I've heard this made before by a lot of people, and I tend to disagree with it on the premise that it's not like it may not be good for you in a physical sense, but um if we're talking about just that, then chess is just as bad. And
Yeah.
I have a problem with I've heard the conjecture taken to the point where like all video games are bad straight up just because it's sedentary. And I don't like that very much because there are some very good games that help people with their cognitive
Like,
functions
yeah,
because
or emotionally. There are some games that have like incredible stories and that people get like emotionally attached to the same way
yeah,
you would with a book or a movie. You
yeah,
know, there's some games that change people's lives.
yeah. It's like my brothers playing chess and
Yeah.
stuff because my brothers are right now they're really good at chess. Like they're masters in my head. And it's it's crazy because you learn a lot of stuff about how chess players think differently and like view the world differently because of just playing this game that and
Yeah.
it strengthens their minds and like you can overhaul it too. Like there's a thing that I heard about once where there's some kind of there's some kind of phenomenon that happens where if chess players are so hyper focused into their game, they lose all sense of um, they start forgetting how to do basic functions and they start forgetting the how the pieces actually work. It's some kind of
Hmm.
it's some kind of focus where they're so into their game, and we're talking like the masters at the super top that are working on like the super like high money tournaments and stuff like that are like rolling like thousands and thousands of dollars on the tournaments.
Yeah.
And it's a strange phenomenon to because it's that kind of hyper focusing, and that could be seen as pretty that's pretty unhealthy, technically speaking. But
Yeah.
I think the idea that games can also help with with cognitive functions, and like especially strategy based games and stuff like that. That's pretty cool, you know. And I don't
Yeah.
fault people for like playing that, because that sense of achievement is a perfectly reasonable sense of achievement that
Yeah.
I think is perfectly reasonable. And like you said, there's other games too that tell very good stories, like really good books and movies and stuff.
And
And I've
so,
played those games before, and so you know, just
yeah, and
different
I
medium
guess
of
when I
entertainment.
talk about games like in a negative sense, saying that it's achievement kind of divorced from the reality, the physical side, you know. When I say that, I guess I'm talking more about like shooters, right? First person shooters that you're online with your friends and you're having a good time. That specifically, that should be sports. You know, that should be, I mean, airsoft. You know, go out in the woods and do airsoft. Same thing. That should be, that's what it should be. You know, but and I don't necessarily take that much issue with it anyways. I'm just saying that that is the problem with it. If you want to talk about a problem, you know, and I don't think that it's the largest problem. And I mean, first person shooters are fun. But I think those specifically are the ones that are a bit of a threat, if you will, to the young generation of men. Because when the time comes to step up in life and to move on, you're not going to be used to putting in proper hard work to get results, right? Because on your video game, you can sit in your chair and you can grind just clicking your buttons until you get to that level up that you wanted. But in reality, you need to be able to actually physically work to be able to level up, right? And I think you need to be aware of that. And for a lot of people, video games can kind of desensitize you in a way, kill down that awareness, you know, and give you a bit of a false vision.
Very interesting take.
What's your thoughts on all of this, Miguel?
Fairly neutral. I agree, kind of. My only point is that sports and stuff like that requires it to be at a reasonable time of day, and B, you all be in the relatively same location. Which for me and my
Yeah.
friends, neither of those boxes get checked, so it's
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to
Yeah.
do that. But yeah, no, I agree. I think a lot of people get like way too obsessed with it. I mean, that's the main thing. I think as long as you don't take it too seriously, understand that this is, you know, a distraction. It's not anything really in and of itself. Of course, just for shooters. But yeah, for the most
Yeah.
part, I agree.
Yeah. I mean, your point there about sports needing to be, yeah, at a reasonable time and in your area. That is a thing. But the thing is, if you put in the effort to find your place, find a team to join, you know, and get their own time daily, and you're gonna make some good friends. Maybe it's not your friends that you would have wanted to do it with originally, but I mean, you're expanding your circle, right? You're growing. Like that is growth. It's getting just knowing, like, I feel like the importance of knowing people, and especially knowing people in person, has become downplayed so much get with the rise of social media specifically because it's easy to find people online, and a lot of the time you find some cool people and you become good friends, but and the issue for me is that like when it comes down to it and I wanted to do something cool, I've got no friends. I like I have friends up in Washington State. I have cousins in Ohio. Or my cousin in Ohio. He's like one of my best friends. And so I text with them and I talk with them online, but it's not like I can actually do anything with them. And so, I do think it is definitely important to get to know people in your area. And this is like just like a little story I got on this. So there were like a skate park near our neighborhood or whatever, and there's this dude I met on my way back home from there, and he stopped and he like said my bike was neat, and I was like, yeah, and he seemed like a neat guy. And then I ran into him again another day, and I was like, hey, we should actually go and try to meet up at the skate park, like get, and then I haven't seen him since, and this was like the beginning of April. I feel so bad though, because like what happened was the next 5 days it rained, right, and then the next 3 weeks my entire family was sick.
Ooh.
Ooh.
And then we've been staying at our grandparents' house, and so like that guy just I just like completely accidentally cast him aside. But yeah, we'll see how that goes down, and if it ever does. No, I feel so bad about that though.
Oof.
Yeah, so you can try, but you will often fail. Take my story as an example there. Yeah, I don't know what y'all's thoughts are on that.
I don't know either.
I mean, yeah, I kind of agree. Having IRL friends is cool. Living near people where you can actually go do stuff is good. Don't become terminally online. That's not good.
But then don't become terminally offline either.
Yeah, yeah.
Because having contacts online, knowing people like that is fun too. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like you would be missing out if you didn't.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah, I would not be here talking to you all at all if I were just like never online, and so there's opportunities everywhere and you just gotta make the most of them, but you do need to prioritize, and I do think that priorities can change at different times, right? But I think for me, most of the time, I want to be able to actually meet people in real life in the area, I just think that's the most fun.
Yeah.
And then it's when the two meet together, when it's like, online friends meet up in person.
I saw y'all's video on that, actually.
Yeah. You get some pretty funny stories out of that one.
Yeah.
It's a good experience, though, to actually meet people from online in real life. Shoot, I just did it at NAMM with a bunch of people that I look up to on the YouTube space that I finally got to meet, and got the autograph for a couple of them, and so it's that's a good experience too, is to have that kind of meetup. Very different from the chaotic nature of Miguel and I's meetup. That was just borderline problematic, but that's what made it so special. Yeah.
Okay, unfortunately, that's been an hour and a half, and I have to get going. So
Alrighty.
I'm gonna roll us out if that's okay. If nobody has any last thoughts that they want to share.
I mean, like, social media, the thing with it is you just need to come prepared.
Yeah.
You know, fortune favors the prepared, and so does social media. You know,
Yeah.
just know what you're stepping into, and have some goals in mind. You know, if you go onto social media looking for something, you can find it, and that's incredibly useful. It's a powerful tool, but just be aware of the traps. Be prepared.
Yep.
Thank y'all for having me on here.
Thank
It's
you
fun.
thank you for coming, dude.
Yeah,
All right.
man.
Yeah, it was great to meet y'all.
This has been Idiots on the Airwaves. With our guests. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Daniel, for being here. Thank you to myself for showing up. Thank yous all around. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
See ya.
All right.